Hey everyone, we're back again. I'm Kyle Hagan.
Well, or back for the first time,
Yeah.
watching the Corp instead of the runner.
It feels like the first time.
Feels like the very first time?
Yeah.
Alright. So we're going to be looking at Station 1, but the Corp side of things. And just dive right in?
Yeah, sure, let's get started.
Alright.
There's a lot more Corp cards than there are runner cards.
There's a couple more Corp cards.
It's that whole other faction thing. The first one we got is, and I believe Aaron wanted me to say it this way, Fatiha Adaptive Barrier, because we couldn't tell if it was cider or cider, so it was cider. It's a lot of other things. So this is a Hasbiroid ice. It's got 2 strength and it costs 4 to res. It's a barrier subtype. And it says Fatiha Adaptive Barrier has +1 strength for each piece of ice protecting the server and in the run. So, I mean, I already like that. +1 strength for each ice protecting the server. It doesn't even care if it's in front or behind. It's just asking about all the ice. That's pretty cool.
So you don't have to worry about placement at all, and it also just fits with the Hasbiroid, lets ice up.
And I mean, you have what? Like, you have Eli 1.0 for 3, right? It's a 3/4. It costs 3, it's 4 strength.
Yeah.
And now you can get a piece of ice that can't be clicked through for 1 more, and it's probably going to have... Oh, wow, it gives 1 to itself, too. So it's a 4/3 right off the bat. So you got that going. That's good. Have 1 other piece of ice, like like one of the cheap mixed ones or something, and now it's a 4/4. So it's like basically vanilla. It passes that that ever so wellly known vanilla test of what do you get for the cost versus the return. You get an in the run for 4, a 4 strength in the run for 4. That's good. It stops someone from getting in a server.
Well, or it's the first thing you put out. It's still 3 strength, which is not bad.
Yeah, that's true. So this one looks pretty good for Hasbiroid, and it's not a Biroid piece of ice, which is
kind of nice.
Kind of nice, yeah.
It's nice to have some of that in there.
Our next piece of ice, though, is a Biroid piece of ice.
And then is the Netrunner 1.0 part of the prior?
I think it would have to be because
I
don't think I've seen it before. But this is Netrunner 2.0. It's a 6 cost, 4 strength ice. It's got a Code Gate subtype, a Biroid subtype, and an AP subtype. And it says, this is another one I like the flavor text for. The runner can spend 2 clicks to break up to 2 subroutines on Netrunner 2.0. It's got 2 subs. Deal 1 brain damage, the Corp may draw a card. Deal 1 brain damage, the Corp may draw a card. And it says submit.
Which, if you've ever played Lunch Money, submit was the flavor text on the hammer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was thinking more like they live, kind of like, obey.
Okay. Yeah.
But, so, we've seen a lot of really cool effects come out of these 2.0s because spending 2 clicks to break through 2 subs, yeah, cool, it's economic, right? But you really have to have 2 clicks to spend or you get totally screwed by these things.
Yeah, well, like this one, it's brain damage and they get a card.
Yeah.
They can have a card, but brain damage is just...
Yeah, and so like Zed 2.0, another one, it's like 2 clicks, but you like lose 3 credits and take a damage or something. It's like... These 2.0 ices are like usually pretty well costed for their effects. And
yeah, well, and 6 is a reasonable cost for this.
2 brain damage for a flip up on 6 for 4 strength can be a little surprising too because it's not as painful as a brainstorm, which is painful for both sides because 9 credits is a lot.
Yeah,
you can still hit 2 brain damage or maybe 1 brain damage and draw a card. So, but it doesn't really stop the runner from doing anything unless they die. So,
yeah. Well, and like brainstorm though, this you can't go through with no hand.
That's true. And the 3 influence though is going to probably keep it out of most other decks because I don't think anybody runs Biroid besides Thomas Biroid.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Next is a Hasbiroid operation. This is 0 cost op called load testing. When the runner next turn begins, he or she loses a click. So 0 cost for a click for a click, really.
Yeah. And I do appreciate the look on her face, just like, oh my.
This could be really cool. Never mind. And I was thinking it could be really cool in. Oh no, that's something that I was thinking like virus counters, but then I was like, wait, no, the Corp wants to click through virus counters. So I don't know how this. I mean, click for a click. I can't think of anything right off the bat. Oh no, right.
It prevents them from interacting.
Loses a click means that if they're doing it. Oh no, so it doesn't happen with Hinland Grid, which is to lose all your credits, right? But if there's a lot of cards that trigger off if the runner has lost a click this turn, so you might be able to leverage some cool thing with that, where you just force them to lose a click and then everything is on.
It also means they can't click through your Biroid ice as easily.
Yeah, so. And I would like to see this. I have to go back and check because I know there's a lot of stuff that just cares if they lost a click this turn, and then you can just force them to do that at the beginning of the turn to turn on all of your stuff.
Yeah, and it does explicitly say loses.
And it's not terminal, which is kind of nice because you can play it whenever you need to. A lot of the stuff that usually affects the runner is terminal.
2 or 3 in your hand.
Yeah. Oh wow, that would be a. Well, you just trade 3 clicks. You trade your whole turn for them having 1 click next turn.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not good. It's perhaps satisfying. So here we've got the art from the front of the pack.
Oh yeah, good call.
On Bloom. I think this is my favorite.
You want to read it?
Yeah, sure.
I usually read them.
You may install a piece of ice from HQ, protecting all others, or protecting another server, ignoring all costs. This is why you usually read them.
Do you want me to take over?
No, I'll struggle through the rest of this one, and then you can. You may install a piece of, and so that's the first subroutine, second subroutine. You may install a piece of ice from HQ in the next innermost position, protecting the server, ignoring all costs. So it's a Jinteki thing that allows you to, as long as they don't break it, put out 2 more pieces of ice.
It costs 2, it's a 3, and it's a code gate. Observer is subtype we haven't seen before, so But this could be cool for like a Glacier deck though.
If you want to ice up, this is great. And I like the fact that the second subroutine protects the server and it puts it behind this.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, because so putting it behind it means that you could actually res it this run.
Yep.
And that can be surprising, because if they're like, oh yeah, I just have enough credits to get past Bloom, or maybe I don't want to pay for Bloom, you're like, well, I'm gonna push Bloom out, and you're gonna have to deal with whatever's face down right now, and you don't have to pay anything for it, which
to install it,
which isn't gonna matter if it's closest to the server. But if you have Bloom at like 4th, and you want to put one in, you don't have to pay the 3 credits, which means you have the credits to install or to res the ice.
Hopefully.
So it could be a pretty good combo piece of ice, but definitely only a combo piece of ice. But only 2 influence, so it's not too bad. So it's kind of like a weird version of Architect that comes from HQ
Waylon
instead.
Or something as well.
Yeah.
I like Bloom a lot.
This one is Jinteki being good people. So replanting.
Well, yeah, they gotta feed everyone.
That's a Plana of Foods, right? It's a 1 cost event. It's a double, so you have to pay another click and additional cost to operation.
But it's worth it.
And the effect is add 1 of your installed cards to HQ, install 2 cards ignoring all costs. So like the thing that I missed the first time I read this card was that last little part, ignore all costs, which works for, you can pull back like 2 of your like almost
one. You can pull back one.
Oh yeah, sorry, you can pull back 1 of your almost dead Eves and then throw down 2 pieces of ice. And you're like, oh wow, anywhere.
So I didn't even think about the Eves.
Yeah, like this is a way for you
down.
to cycle out stuff that it counts down, cycle out stuff that has res effects like product placement. Like where you flip it up and you get a bunch of money, then you just, replant, put it back in your hand so you can use it again, and then you can install 2 pieces of ice or 2 other product placements so you can just cycle out stuff. I think this card's gonna be great for not only that, but also great for traps. So like when you're like, oh man, I over-resed a Junebug and they didn't hit it, you're like replanting, pull it back, install an agenda.
Agenda and something
or something like that. Yeah, and it's not terminal either, so you can do something with the cards you install, as long as you have the ability to. So
right. Well, it is a double, so it's 2/3 of your turn. But again, worth it. It's 2 installs plus that pullback.
And that's exactly why it's 3 influence, because it is going to be really broken with a lot of stuff. So 3 influence on that means you're going to be spending 12 for just 3 copies, which means you're probably not putting all 3 copies in any deck.
Jinteki decks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're back to our favorite faction, everybody. MBN. So if you haven't been following Netrunner a lot, or if you have, you know that MBN is one of the most annoying factions. And last Worlds, MBN won with the controlling the message, so been a lot of heat around that lately, and I mean not lately, but last time I paid attention. So, but this card is an asset, an advertisement. So another advertisement. I love that because I really want Spark to work. It's a 0 cost. CPC generator is the name. The first time the runner spends a click to gain a credit each turn, not through card effect, gain 1 credit. It's a 2 trash asset. And I'm just going to read the flavor.
Well, it's not unique.
It is not unique. The customer pays to use our services. Then the advertiser pays us to put the ads in the screens. And then the customer pays us a premium to remove the ads. Welcome to the dream. So if you ever wonder anything about Netrunner and you are like, wow, this is like, this is kind of like real life, you're right. Like, this is what's happening.
Yeah, this is the dystopian, cyberpunk future that we're all having.
Welcome to 2020, right? Mm-hmm. Here we come, 2020.
Indeed.
So I'm excited. I'm already excited because it says advertisement on it. That's all I have.
It's advertisement, and again, it's not unique. So if you happen to have 2 or 3 out, every time they click for a credit, you get 3.
0 cost res advertisements make Spark so annoying because you just throw them out, and then the runner's about to make a run, and you're like, res, and then they have no money left, and they're stuck getting the first piece of ice, and you're like, this is amazing, because now they hit something.
Yeah, and then if you have the influence, you use replanting, and you pull someone
and
back,
then you pull it back, yeah.
you can do it again.
So again, that's what product placement's also an advertisement. Pop-up window, you have so many, and it's going to be this really funny deck at some point where it's just a bunch of dinky stuff that makes the runner not able to do anything because they have no money. What are you like talking?
We're going off the rails. We need to
okay.
keep it on station.
No, we're good. I get excited when I see advertisements.
Extremely excited.
Free lunch.
Free lunch.
Nothing's free.
Well, nothing's free
except for this free lunch. So this is another piece of ice. It's a code gate. It is a 4-strength, 3-cost code gate. So you already got more strength than the cost. That's always usually a good thing. It has a hosted power counter effect that says the runner loses a money or a credit, a money. They lose a gold.
Yeah, 1 gold.
It's got 2 subroutines.
Well, it's almost a rupee, really.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The runner loses a rupee. I guess if it was like, was it like the Mumbad cycle? It could be rupees.
Yeah. I mean, legit.
There's two subroutines. Place a power counter on the free power. So basically, both of the subroutines place a power counter. So it doesn't really stop the runner from doing anything. Kind of hard to break. It's a code gate, so
right. They're gonna walk through a bit, and then you're going to punish them for it.
I'm going to put this guy back up here so we can talk about advertisements draining the runner of money. Could be fun, but also, annoying. I'm not a fan of any deck, and this is why it kind of sounds opposite to what I just said, that makes the game take longer for no reason. And if you drain the runner of money and don't have enough stuff to do yourself, it's just going to be this slow roll of, who can,
Right, but that's why you like the zero-cost advertisements,
exactly.
and you should like this ice and stuff.
I do like this ice, but I worry about it because I don't want the game to just hit the stall out of Glacier,
Yeah. So this, if you've been looking online, is one of the most controversial cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the MCA Informant. So go ahead and
sure.
Tell the people what it's all about.
MCA Informant is an operation. It's a terminal operation. So again, we talked about terminals a second ago, whereas they're the last thing that you can play on a turn, or rather, they end your turn if you play them.
If you want to play this first click,
you have
that's
nothing
super,
else to do.
but you're done.
And then so it's a 4-cost, 2-influence MBN operation. It says again after you resolve this operation in your action, and it says install MCA Informant on a connection as a hosted condition counter with the text. The runner is considered to have 1 additional tag. The hosted connection gains click 2 credits, trash this card. So
it basically you've tainted one of their connections.
Yeah.
But they can get rid of it, and the reason why this is causing a bit of a ruckus is there is actually a Corp card that is a connection type.
Oh, really?
The corporate troubleshooter from I believe the core set says connection.
So they can install it on their own thing?
It's probably going to be errated because then it's broken, because then the runner has no way to get rid of it.
Wow.
And so the reason why this is terminal is so that the runner at least has 1 turn
to try to deal with
before you can boom it.
Yeah, okay. It costs 4 too, so it's kind of like up there with like mid-season replacements.
Oh yeah, no, like
I do like this. Yeah,
I think it's well balanced, except for the fact that there is a corporate connection.
Okay. I do like the fact that this is the first card I've ever seen that has a string inside of a string. So it's not this card gains and then the card gains another gains. So it's got like if you look at it, it's kind of a coding joke, but they have like the quotation marks and then the single ticks. So
recursive.
Made me happy. But that's interesting. I did not know it had such a controversial.
Yeah, no.
I want to figure out which connection that is actually.
No, I want to say it's corporate troubleshooter.
Okay.
Tell us in the comments if we're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, because we don't know enough, you should let us know what we don't know.
And we'll read the YouTube comments and cry. So
This is we're into Waylon now, so we have 3 Waylon cards in this pack. So this is an asset, an executive asset. It's a 2-cost to res, 3 to trash. Clyde Van Wright, and he looks like a young entrepreneur there.
I think he looks like a televangelist.
Yeah, okay. When your turn begins, the runner must pay 1 or trash the top card of their stack. So there's some effects that sit around trashing the top card of the stack, but I don't necessarily see it as an incredible detriment to the runner most of the time. So.
I mean, it's not an incredible detriment, but turn after turn, you're either losing credits or cards.
Yeah, that's true.
And you need them both.
I'm a fan of cheap to res assets that have at least 3 trash cost for Gagarin decks that I run that are asset heavy.
Oh yeah, so, this would go really well in my tour guide Gagarin nonsense.
And because it's a thing that happens without you having to do anything. So things like corporate investments, or what is it, the bankers, investment bankers, the one that gives you 3 credits if there's no ice, and things like hostile infrastructure. All that stuff's really good in those decks because they just sit there and do something without you having to care about them.
And then you add an encryption protocol and everything just becomes more painful to deal with.
So, good for decks that want to asset spam, especially Waylon.
It's a way to just mill the runner slowly, and that won't win you the game if they run out of cards, but it will likely win you the game because they don't have any options anymore.
Or they have to keep cycling through if they do, and they have to. You're making them waste their recursion stuff when they don't want to.
Or perhaps throwing their recursion away and kicking themselves.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Throwing their recursion away is a good one there. So, Watchtowers and Ice from Waylon. It's a 4 res, 3 strength ice. Code Gate. And it says, it's got 1 sub. It says, search R&D for a card and add it to HQ and shuffle R&D. So, kind of expensive for a tutor and when they can break it,
Yeah, but does Waylon have a whole lot of tutoring?
Not for any card.
Yeah,
but
this is any card.
Yeah,
so that's. I'd say it's balanced. It's
I
also
wouldn't
3
know
influence.
what that means.
That's hex. I'm pretty sure. So I'm guessing you put it in. It's probably ASCII for something.
If you know what this means, this word on this long string of letters and numbers.
Yeah,
on the
just
bottom
look up
of Watchtower. Put it in the
on
comments.
Netrunner DB or something.
Be cool.
If you can't see it in the.
Yeah.
So,
It's search R&D for 3. It lets you shuffle R&D, which is always good before a run. So if you just put it on R&D and then you just have them shuffle every time.
Get something out.
Yeah, could be cool.
Sacrifice.
Whoa, that looks brutal.
Yeah, I really like the art on this one. So
it's like a Mars thing, though.
Well, this is the red sand.
I know. It just was okay. So 0 cost of operations called Sacrifice. As an additional cost to play this Operation Forfeit Agenda. So we just had another ID come out that cares about if you forfeit agendas. So you already got something there, another sack outlet for agendas as a 0 cost. Remove 1 bad publicity per agenda point that the agenda forfeit was worth. Gain 1 credit for each bad publicity removed. So this could be cool with some stuff in Waylon. Removing bad pub is good, but...
you're removing bad pub and you're getting credits, but you're also losing points you need to win.
Yeah.
But if you're playing Waylon with bad pub, you're probably not trying to win through agendas.
And the nice part about the new ID is that it's supposed to help you replace the points you sacrifice because it lets you advancement counter stuff with that does it. So it could be cool, and it's 0 cost, so it's a good agenda sack outlet.
Yeah. Also low influence in case that matters, but I don't see that being used by too many other folks.
Ways to move bad publicity are good, especially with Valencia.
I guess Jinteki has some bad pub stuff.
Yeah, saving face and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah. Stuff that gives you bad pub.
Oh, stuff that gives you bad pub, yeah. So we got the last piece of ice here. It's a neutral ice. It's barrier subtype. 3 res, 1 strength, self-adapting code wall. The strength of self-adapting code wall cannot be lowered, and it ends the run. So it's like
parasite proof. It's higher cost vanilla, but
it's also got that the key at the top of there is that
can't be lowered.
You can't cipher it or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's like what is it, the Jinteki Lotus Field.
Yep.
It's not that kind of effect, but it's no influence and it's neutral. So
it's not bad.
No, I don't think so.
For free, it's well worth its money.
Yeah, it's only 1 strength, so it's pretty easy to break once you have a barrier breaker out. But it's always going to cost them at least 1 credit.
Yeah. This would make me very happy to have in my opening hand.
Yeah, I agree because it's a solid barrier.
Yeah, solid barrier. You're not gonna blow all your credits resing it.
Yeah,
you're good to go.
I agree.
So,
well, that's all the cards for this time, folks. Make sure to come join us. What?
Nothing. I was gonna adjust the stacks.
Make sure to come join us for our LCG nights on Tuesday nights and Saturdays after whenever you want to get here on Saturdays. We do monthly Netrunner tournaments the 4th Saturday of every month.
Like, subscribe, all the nonsense, and CollectorMania thanks you.